Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have an amazing video for you guys today from realtor.com. This article is really packed with a lot of amazing information, and it kind of it repeats a lot of the things that I have been saying, right, on my videos. So here's the title: A New Normal ? The housing market just seriously shifted and sellers may be running out of time. So why are people saying the sellers are running out of time? Well, it's because look, if we look at the Redfin weekly housing market data, we can see that here is 2020 is the black line, 2019 is the blue line. So we feel like we've hit a peak. And what they are saying is that we're running out of time because, as interest rates have been rising, we have now switched from a seller's market into a buyer's market. Now more buyers are kind of calling the shots. And if sellers still want to get that top price, their window is getting shorter and shorter because, it looks like the prices will come down. Now, I don't believe that necessarily they're going to come down, crashing down, but I do think they are going to be sliding down into the next year or two. Why? Because I think inflation as a whole is going to keep the prices high for everything. And as we lower inflation into the next 2 years, everything will eventually get back to normal. Now, getting back to this article, check this out. America's housing market has been brutal on home buyers for the past 2 years, but at long last, signs suggest that the worst of it might be over. So check this out. The housing market is resetting in a friendly, buyer-friendly direction. And granted, a buyer-friendly direction does not mean that we're anywhere near true blue market value. The seller's market that has raged since the COVID-19 pandemic is still going strong. Again, we could see it, right? We jump back. It's definitely strong. I mean, yeah, it's kind of slowed down, but we're still super high. Remember, it climbed this much because of those lower interest rates that we had, because of the shutdown, because of low inventory. The people with the means were able to really jump in and pick up a lot of properties. And because there wasn't that many properties available, there was more buyers and sellers. And it just, sellers began having a frenzy. And whoever sold, at the beginning of this year or like around May, really cashed in. It looks like June was the peak. Now, people are still trying to list their homes, fairly expensive, but you could just look at the proof is in the pudding. This is the actual sale price, and the prices are coming down. Now, let's go back to the article real quick. Surprisingly, good news is hiding in rising home prices. The latest data from Realtor places the median home price nationwide at $449. And for the week ending on August 6th, listing price rose by 15% the same week from last year. Yeah, things from last year are growing, but like I said, we just saw the slowdown. The improvement has been substantial. So, still we have we still have record low, high prices. And that, in my opinion, is basically key. Why, right? Why? Well, here, check this out. One factor, here, let me highlight it. One factor driving the success for the home shoppers is an incredibly strong labor market that is pushing wages up and giving workers the ability to negotiate remote or hybrid working arrangements. Even as an in-person work is growing more common, with flexible work arrangements still available, home shoppers are able to consider homes farther afield of the office, in a more affordable suburbs, or even in new, less expensive states. So that's how, and they're combating the high cost of living. But look, it is true, we had the Great Resignation, right? So a lot of people quit, and yeah, wages did go up. But what type of wages went up, right? A lot of factory wages went up. A lot of people didn't want to work in factories. A lot of people didn't want to work in minimum wage jobs. So a lot of restaurants had to raise their wages for the cooks and whatnot, and the factory workers. Now, maybe, at the end of the day, when we have inflation, sure, people are making more money, but things are more expensive. The value of the dollar, in essence, is going down, right? Because inflation is making everything more expensive. So when you bought something for $1 and now it's costing you $1.75, well, guess what? That's 75 cents that you don't have in your pocket right now. So if you did get a raise, right, the raise is not as high as what the inflation rate is. And that's another thing. That's what's going to keep this kind of like this blanket from keeping us from really like excelling. Now, there are going to be some people out there that are going to be able to make money, but even them is, at the end of the day, inflation is rampant across the world, right? Europe is seeing a huge amount of inflation, and those people, are basically becoming poorer and poorer. The dollar is strong right now compared to other currencies, but like as you're seeing in this country, we still have inflation in this country. And that is kind of like something to really look into, because it's really going to dictate where the market goes. But at the end of the day, what's going to happen is, with mortgage rates going up, everything, borrowing money is becoming more expensive. With inflation being high, the cost of goods are becoming more expensive. So what that means is we're going to basically spend less, right? Because we're going to have less money. And what that does is it shrinks the economy. Once we have, the GDP goes down in the third quarter, we're going to see like, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? And then smaller businesses are going to have a harder time surviving. Bigger businesses are going to have layoffs to combat, the stock market could drop. And when you start seeing those shifts, right, of the economy kind of really slowing down, that's what it looks like for economy to slow down. I mean, you're not going to have a boom, right, of everything when economy is slowing down. So that's the problem, is that we're going into that area of the economy. So everything starts shutting down, and then once that starts to happen, then you will see these prices come down. But it's not going to be overnight. The number one game right now is that we need to figure out how to bring down inflation, right? We need to get inflation down to 2%, 2 to 3%, and that is going to hurt a lot of us, because like I said, it's a shrinking of the economy. And the best thing that we could do right now, in my opinion, if you're looking to buy, I would say probably wait and build on that down payment, because you might have a lot of better opportunities in the next year or two when the recession really kind of takes hold, and we start seeing like the effects. Look, remember, we're at the peak, guys. Okay, this was basically the peak. Now, if you think that this was not the peak, that we're gonna go back up, please, I would like to hear your explanation, and please comment down below. Again, I know wages are up, but wages did not go up as much as how much the housing prices. So if anything, this little top peak right here is an indication that we're on the way down, and this will, obviously the economy will follow housing. Housing is always one of the first indicators of a slowing economy. So we might have just passed the peak. That's why a lot of people are saying, hey, if you're looking to sell, your window's getting shorter and shorter, because let me tell you, if we come out with a third quarter GDP that did not grow, combined with still high inflation, it's going to be pretty crappy. And if we go into a Christmas season where there's not a lot of consumer buying, then it's gonna make things even worse, okay? Because we will then see that in Q1 of 2023, and when they start reporting their sales for the winter. And if we, again, you can see consistent like bad quarters, in GDP growth with still high inflation, less consumer spending, and companies, are very reactionary, right? Very, very reactionary. Especially the big corporations, when they start seeing those numbers, and suddenly, one of these big conglomerates is sitting in a bunch of inventory, they're gonna want to unload it, right? Because nobody wants to lose money, and it's better to get 10 cents to the dollar than to lose all of it. So you're gonna kind of see some liquidation in products come next year. So, I'm looking to buy, like, for example, an e-bike, electric bike, and man, those things are so expensive. Now, I have an electric bike already, but I want to get like this fancy one. And I was looking, very, very expensive. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm gonna wait about a year, or not a year, about 6 months after the Christmas season, because I know a lot of people are not going to sell a lot of bikes, because I feel like the economy is slowing down. And now, nobody wants to have a huge inventory just collecting dust. They rather sell it and lose a little bit of money, but at least collect some money. So I'm gonna look for great bargains come like January, February, even March. And then, always like looking on Let Go, because, right now, the key is not to take out loans because, again, the interests are going up. So right now is pay off your debt is probably the best thing you can do. And, look for the deals, right? Be a bargain shopper. Don't always just pay the top. Like anyone who's buying a house right now, like in the last month, I gotta wonder, like why would you want to buy so close to the peak? Because if this goes down in the next 6 months, like all these people that bought in this little part right here are gonna be underwater. Why would you want to do that? And especially with the higher interest rates, you're gonna literally be paying $1,000 more than your neighbors, than your neighbor wherever you bought that house, and that cannot feel good. So if we want the prices to come down, really the buyers hold all the cards. If we slow down the buying, right? We need to put the sellers on check, really, if as a buyer, and look for those bargains. I think that is definitely going to bring down the market. But again, you know what? If you're a seller, I definitely think your window is running, getting smaller and smaller and smaller, because I definitely think going into the winter months, we are going to see a big slowdown, and people are going to react. We're going to start calling it the big crash. But I definitely think even into next year and the following year, we're going to see a big slowdown. Like I said in previous videos, because of inflation, I don't think the prices are going to just come crashing down fast. Because again, what does inflation mean? Inflation means money becomes less valuable and everything basically becomes more expensive. So unless we see inflation coming down, and it's gotta come down, guys, it's the number one issue right now. Unless we see that coming down, we're gonna have some problems. Because then, if it stays up, well, I guarantee you houses will stay up because inventory will get tighter and tighter and tighter. Now, a lot to unpack here as we kind of monitor this housing market day to day, and we jump in and see what are the hot stories of the day. Unfortunately, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but I think if you have the means, if you have the down payment, and you find a house of your dreams, I'm never gonna tell you don't wait, all right? Because buying a house is an emotional decision, and you're gonna live there for the rest of your life, for at least some people, and it's a big deal. So if you found that house that's just a dream house, I don't think it's a big deal to jump into the market. Now, if you're a bargain shopper, like if you're looking for a second property, for example, I think it's better to wait, right? Because I think we're gonna see some good deals. Totally good deals, but it might be a year, might be 2 years, might be 3 years. But again, real estate is a long-term investment, so it doesn't really bother me. Okay. Now I want to say, check this out. Look at all these views my videos have been getting, and it's all thanks to you guys. Again, thank you guys so much for supporting my channel, for watching my videos, for liking my videos, for commenting on my videos. You guys really mean the world to me. If you're new to my videos, if this is the first time you've seen this my channel, and you like what I have to say, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button and go ahead and like and leave a comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.